Perfect. Then we can start.
College. Is the recording ready to go?
All set.
Thank you. Okay, this is the Barnstable Historical Commission, and it is Tuesday, August 15th. It would have been my father's birthday, 2023, and it is 3 p.m. The link for the meeting is https://townofbarnstable-us.zoom.us/886-304-31008. And you can access us by phone at 1-888-475-4499. The meeting ID is 886-3046-1008. So I'm going to do a roll call to order. Nancy Shoemaker.
Here.
Nancy Clark here. Marilyn Fifield.
Here.
George Jessup. Not present. Cheryl Powell told me she would not be able to be here. Jack Kay. Not here. Barbara DiBiase.
Here.
Did I get it close that time?
You did.
Okay.
Well done.
Thank you. This is a meeting that is being recorded and will be broadcast on Channel 18 in accordance with MGL Chapter 30A, subsection 20. I must inquire whether anyone is taping this meeting and to please make their presence known. Anybody signaling? I don't see it either. Acting under the provisions of the Code of the Town of Barnstable, subsections 112-1 through 112-7, the Historical Commission will hold a public hearing on the following applications. The applications have been determined significant and were referred to a public hearing. There are no continued applications. The first one on the agenda is Anne LaFrance, 170 Fifth Avenue, Hyannis, map 245, parcel 115, built 1890. This is for a full demolition to demolish the existing building and rebuild a gambrel-style home within the existing footprint. Who is representing Anne LaFrance?
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Steve Cook from Couture Bay Design, representing Anne LaFrance, and Anne is also on the Zoom call with us.
Okay, thank you.
So Anne purchased the house in 1993. She's been using it for a summer home for a number of years, but she plans to use the house year-round and move here. So, in our meetings, looking at the house, saying, what the condition of it was. We hired a structural engineer, Eric Cedarholm from Transition Engineering. You should have his letter. So we looked at the condition of the existing house and found a lot of issues. There's some rot, lack of second floor egress windows, low ceiling heights. The stair to the second floor is very narrow and steep. There's some sagging floors, minimal, no insulation, a lot of old windows that need to be replaced, and the framing is substandard. Also, the foundation underneath is, partial basement, partial crawl space with dirt. It's a concrete block foundation. At some point, somebody had replaced the original foundation, put in a concrete block foundation. A lot of that, the footings underneath were minimal. So there were a lot of issues with the house. As you see in the photograph, there's a garage on the right-hand side and like a sunroom with large sliders between the garage and the house. When Anne purchased the house, that was a garage, so she changed it into a sunroom. Just so at some point in the 1990s, she could probably give you more info on what time frame. But we kind of did an evaluation looking at those, say, did we save this house, to get it where she wanted to be year-round living? We'd have to do a lot of demolition, remodeling. The second floor does not work because those windows that you see in the front dormer are not meet egress code. They're too high off the floor. They're too small. Looks like there is a slider on the right-hand side out the roof deck, but on the left-hand side, there's a small window, and there's a small gable dormer on the rear. So basically, out of the original house, what you see is that rear gable dormer. That was the original house. The roof line was the same. The porches that were all open porches on the original house were all filled in except on the front part, which is still an open porch that has a concrete slab base. It's not wood. So this house has changed since its original 1890 construction quite a bit. So when looking at the house and saying, all right, if we wanted to bring up the code, bring up to Ann's requirements to live here year round, there really wouldn't be much left of the house because the second floor doesn't meet any of the egress, height, codes, stairway. So this house would be gutted. We'd have to lift it up, put a whole new foundation. So basically we were just saving 4 walls and maybe a piece of roof here and there. The garage was in rough shape. Sunroom, we were going to tear that down and rebuild that. So once we looked at the whole process to say there's really not much left of this house when we're all said and done with it. So that's why we are requesting a full tear down, and we're going to build a new house in the same footprint that's there now. I'm trying to think of anything else that I could mention to you. I think that's it. Yeah, the key thing is there wouldn't be a lot left of the house once we remodeled it.
Maybe I could just add that, I've lived in this house off and on, and actually I have lived in it for a couple of years during COVID. I lived in London for many years and was commuting back and forth. But before that, I used to visit as a child this little neighborhood, Seaside Park, which I am very active in the SPIA, which you may know is, very concerned about keeping up the look and the feel of this little village. So I'm very much for that. I only reluctantly came to the conclusion that I couldn't really remodel this in a way that I could live there. So I just wanted to point that out. It wouldn't have been my first choice, but I don't really see another option.
Okay, thank you. Thank you both, Ann and Steve. Is there anybody from the public who would like to speak to this? Seeing no hands. Do you see anybody, Erica? Okay, thank you.
At this time, I do not see anyone.
Thank you. Okay, commissioners, your comments and thoughts on this?
I hate to see an 1890 house torn down, but I'm hearing some arguments that seem to have some strength to them.
Thank you.
Marilyn has a comment.
Go ahead.
I just have a question. Just remind me, was this inventoried?
No, I don't believe so. I think when I spoke to Erica originally, it was not inventoried.
It is not
Okay.
inventoried now.
Okay, thank you.
We have a lot of houses still to inventory in the town, that's for sure. And this is one of them that was not done at this point. Okay, Barbara, did you have any questions to ask?
I think I don't have any questions, but I do echo Fran's sentiment that, you hate to see a house built in 1890 torn down, but there are certainly arguments to move in that direction.
I'm very reluctant to tear anything from that period down that isn't totally gone, which this one is not. But I do understand the situation. So shall we close the public hearing? If so, I need a motion to that effect.
Nancy Shoemaker, I move that we close the public hearing.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Barbara seconds, okay, and we need to do a roll call vote. So Marilyn Fifield,
Aye.
this is just on closing the hearing.
Right.
Nancy Shoemaker,
Aye.
Barbara DiBiase.
Aye.
You don't have I didn't hear you. I saw you.
Aye.
Thank you. And I also vote to close that hearing. I need to have motions read, please.
I'll read it if you would like.
Sure.
This is a house at 170 Fifth Avenue, Hyannis, map 245, parcel 115, built 1890, owned by Anne LaFrance. And she is requesting full demolish the existing dwelling and rebuild Gambrel-style home within the existing footprint. Motion 1, I move that after review and consideration of public testimony, the application and associated materials, the significant building at 170 Fifth Avenue, Hyannis is a preferably preserved significant building.
Okay, and what will happen with an I vote?
We need a
An
second.
I vote is,
We need a second.
an I vote get redo, yes. I need a second. Maryland or Barbara?
I'll second.
Okay, we got them from both.
Right.
Okay, the I vote imposes an 18-month delay and a nay vote does not impose that delay. So we get to go people by people again. So we have it seconded and the motion has been made. The I is the 18-month delay, the nay is not. So Nancy Shoemaker,
Nay.
Marilyn Fifield,
Nay.
Barbara DiBiase,
Nay.
and I also vote nay. Next motion, please.
Okay, I move that in accordance with section 112-3F, the Barnstable Historical Commission determines that the full demolition of the building located at 170 Fifth Avenue, Hyannis, is not detrimental to the historical, cultural, and architectural heritage or resources of the town.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, great, guys. It has been motioned and second. And I vote says that the demo is not detrimental and there'll be no demolition delay. And so onward we go. Nancy Shoemaker,
Aye.
Marilyn Fifield,
Aye.
Barbara DiBiase,
Aye.
and I also vote aye. Is that
Great.
it? I think.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
That's-
thank you.
Nice to see everybody. Have a
Very
good
sorry.
afternoon. So
And I hope you keep it as close to the other house as you can.
We will. Thank you.
definitely. Take care.
Okay, thank you. You too. The next house is Owen and, let's see, Owen McConville and Catherine Mira, 195 Crystal Lake Road, Osterville, map 139, parcel 055, built 1930. Another full demolition to demolish the existing dwelling and rebuild a classic Cape style home with attached 2-car garage. Okay, who is here to talk to this one?
Ron Welch from Kendall and Welch Construction.
Thank you. Tell us what's going on here.
So we have a ranch style house that we would like to tear down and build a Cape style home. The house was built in the 30s and the owners have plans that the entire house had a full house renovation in 1975. At that point, when it was renovated, the only things that were kept were about 3 walls on the far right side of the house. The entire roof was taken off and a truss roof was put on. There's really nothing significant left over of that house from 1930. And doesn't really make any sense for them to keep that. It's also had subsequent additions and changes in the 90s, 1995 and 2008. And that's where it is. It's not inventoried. And again, about 20% of the house walls on the left-hand side is what's from that 1930s house. So there's not a lot to say about this one, Nancy.
Okay. Thank you, Ron. Is
You bet.
the owner here as well to comment, or is that it?
That's just me, yeah.
Yes, you're all by your little lonesome. Okay.
I am all alone, and I'm holding on.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Okay, Erica, do we have anybody from the public who would like to comment?
I would.
It looks like I do have
Wait.
somebody. Yes.
Miss iPad. That's all it says. It doesn't
Hi
say
there.
your name. What's your name,
Oh,
please?
I'm sorry. I'm Katie Cook.
Okay, Katie Cook.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'm a
Okay.
neighbor.
Okay.
I'm a neighbor on Crystal Lake, and I have no opposition to the whatever you all decide about the demolition at all. We just have been having a lot of health issues with Crystal Lake, and so I'm basically joining because I just want to make sure that that the lake isn't affected negatively by the demolition, or also we're having a cyanobacteria issue with septic systems. And
Yep.
I just, was concerned about that.
Those are legitimate concerns. Ronald, I'm sure that you know the town rules on this, but go ahead and reassure, please.
Yeah, the house is being built outside of the 100-foot jurisdiction we stayed away from. We could have moved it closer to the water, but the McConvilles they love that lake. And so they chose to hold the house out of the 100-foot setback so that, we don't have to worry about it. We're not even cutting any trees past the 100-foot. Our septic system is going to get rebuilt, and it's put in the front of the house, whereas it had pits in the back of the house before. So overall, I feel like we're going to increase the safety to the lake. And I think if you've seen that house over the years, it's going to look a little better in the neighborhood anyways.
I totally,
Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree. And I'm glad I see you have on here a wetlands buffer and a reserve area. And I see that the leaching field is in the front and is much bigger than previous. And so that looks like a great upgrade to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, thank you very much for participating. Is there anybody else who would like to comment on
Sarah,
this?
it looks like Lisa would like to comment.
Oh, okay, Lisa, there you are.
Okay, yeah.
Yes,
I'm also a neighbor around the corner, so I'm happy to hear that you are doing all that because Crystal Lake is near and dear to our heart as it's just around the corner. And so are you using the existing footprint or will you be expanding that?
You can see on the site plan that we are going to turn the house a little bit and we are going to change the footprint.
Okay.
So the original house is about 1,900 square feet. This will be about 3,100 square feet.
Okay. And is it, because I'm not very good at reading all this stuff, will it be one level or two levels?
It'll be a story and a half. It's a Cape style house.
Perfect. Thank you.
Much like the house directly across the street. I don't know if you're familiar with that house.
Oh, yes, I am.
But it's very similar in scale and size to that house.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Well, this is the benefit to me of having the Zoom meetings. It means more people can participate.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, both of you, for
Beautiful.
coming. Okay, is there, yes.
Just if I could ask you, Ron, just to tell the new owners how thrilled we are that they really have the health of the lake as a priority. That means a lot to all the neighbors around on the lake, and we're doing all we can to try to keep it clean. But it's to the point where we can't even use it sometimes because of the septic system issue. So thank them for us.
Yeah, and thank the town that they're getting really aggressive at the septic issue all around Barnstable.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
our bays are going to get better, and so are our ponds. Thank God.
Thankfully, yes.
Exactly. Okay, thank you. Now, commissioners, do you have any questions for Mr. Welch? Yes,
Madam Chairman,
Barbara?
I do. For Mr. Welch, forgive my ignorance, but what is a truss roof? You had mentioned that that was replaced with the original roof, or one of the roofs was replaced with a truss roof. What is that, please?
A standard roof system has a rafter and a ceiling joist and a ridge beam, which would have been on the original house. When they renovated this house in the 70s, what they did is they basically cut off the whole roof. And a truss roof is a pre-manufactured roof. You bring it in from back then. Mid-Cape Home Center used to make them.
Oh, and plunk it
And then
on?
you pluck them on, throw some plywood on it. It's quick and easy. And very effective cost-wise. You know, in the 70s, that happened a lot in the 70s.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Marilyn, I can't see you if you have a raised hand. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. And Nancy S.
No, was there, I don't remember, I looked at your plans, but is there a picture at all of, yeah, there was a picture, that's right, of the house. Not exactly
Yes.
style, but still, yeah.
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 No, I don't have any other questions.
Okay, then I think we will close that public hearing. I need a motion to that effect, please.
I move that we close the public hearing.
And I need a second.
Second.
Thank you. Okay. Marilyn got in there first this time.
That's fine.
Okay. We will vote to close the public hearing. Barbara DiBiase
Aye.
and Nancy Shoemaker
Aye.
and Marilyn Fifield.
Aye.
And I also vote to close the public hearing. So that's an aye for me as well. Now it's time for the regular motions.
I'll do them unless somebody else wants to.
Sure, go for it.
Property of Owen McConville and Catherine Mara at 195 Crystal Lake Road, Osterville, map 139, parcel 055, built 1930. And they are asking for a full demolition, demolish the existing dwelling and rebuild a classic Cape style, I'm not sure it's quite that, but with an attached two-car garage. Motion number one, I move that after review and consideration of public testimony, the application and assorted materials, the significant building at 195 Crystal Lake Road, Osterville, is a preferably preserved significant building.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Marilyn. All right, we're going to do an aye would impose an 18-month delay, and a nay will not impose that 18-month delay. Marilyn first.
No.
And Nancy Shoemaker.
Nay.
And Barbara DiBiase.
Nay.
And I also vote nay. Okay, the next motion is in green.
I move that in accordance with section 112-3F, the Barnstable Historical Commission determines that the full demolition of the building located at 195 Crystal Lake Road, Osterville is not detrimental to the historical, cultural, and architectural heritage or resources of the town.
Need a second, please.
Second.
Thank you.
Second.
All right. And I vote determines that the full demo of the single family structure is not detrimental and there would be no demolition delay invoked. So, Marilyn, I'll start with you.
Aye.
Nancy Shoemaker.
Aye.
Barbara DiBiase.
Aye.
And I also vote aye. So you will be allowed to go ahead and do this.
Thank you.
Another building lost to the town. Okay, and our next application is Carrie Kennedy, 101 Edge Hill Road, Hyannis, map 287, parcel 029, built 1915. It's a partial demolition to remove existing second floor dormers and replace them with new second floor dormers. Okay, let's move along. Who's here to speak for Carrie Kennedy?
Oh, I believe that would be
Oh,
me.
that would be you, Greg. Okay.
And Matt is here in the back, and you've been corresponding with him. This is a project that is not unfamiliar to you as a committee, not this committee, but this went through this procedure about maybe 4 years ago.
Mhm.
And
In December of 20.
yeah, it went through and a demolition delay was imposed, and it was let lie, and now we would like to resume. And there was quite some time lost between the transition of getting the plans, and I believe we had 2 years after the issue. It was quite a while getting an answer. I finally ended up, this was after Grace left, and I think it took 3 months to get a yay or a nay from Elizabeth Jenkins, who said, yes, you can proceed with the project because there's been no action or activity. And I think current regulation says that you have a window. Once it expires, you go back to the process. So we are back at the process, although we would like to, our client would like to avoid this delay, having lost 3-4 years. And really, it's essentially the same project represented.
So it's the same project that had a demolition delay imposed.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, good enough. Thank you, Craig. Do we have any people to comment on that from the public?
Chair, at this time, I don't see anyone wishing to speak
No.
to this project.
I don't see anyone either. Okay, thank you very much, Erica. So, Marilyn, do you have any comments on this?
No, only did we just see the existing and the proposed?
Yeah, it's the same thing that was done something like 5 years ago.
Okay.
We had so it and demolition delay was imposed at that time.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, Barbara, did you have any questions?
I do not.
Nancy?
I'd like to see, Craig, the window design again. I just don't, the pictures didn't seem to show exactly that head on. That's what's existing now, but.
This is the proposed, the dormer that you see under the east elevation is the primary change. And the shingle, there's the dormer that you see on the south elevation. The changed areas are essentially what are shown as clapboarded, and that is the addition of the dormer and the expansion of the existing dormer on the east elevation.
And is the roof line a little higher?
Nope, no change to the roof line, overall height.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.
Okay. So we have no further questions on this. Are we ready for a vote? If so, I will close the public hearing. I need a motion to that effect.
Move that we close the public hearing.
Thank you. And a second.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, very good. And so we vote to close the public hearing. So Nancy Shoemaker?
Aye.
I'm Barbara DiBiase.
Aye.
And Marilyn Fifield?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. So the public hearing is now closed, and it is time for the motions.
I'll do that again.
Okay, great.
You don't mind hearing my voice again?
Better than mine.
A property owned by Carrie Kennedy at 101 Edge Hill Road, Hyannis, map 287, parcel 029, built 1915. She is asking for a partial demolition of removing existing second floor dormers and replacing with new second floor dormers. Motion number 1, I move that after review and consideration of public testimony, the application and associated materials, the significant building at 101 Edge Hill Road, Hyannis, is a preferably preserved significant building.
I need a second.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, and I vote imposes the 18-month delay, and the nay vote will not impose that delay. Marilyn Fifield.
Nay.
And Barbara DiBiase.
Nay.
Nancy Shoemaker.
Nay.
And I also vote nay. So it's time to go down to the green one.
Okay. I move that in accordance with section 112.3F, the Barnstable Historical Commission determines that the partial demolition of the building located at 101 Edge Hill Road, Hyannis, is not detrimental to the historical, cultural, and architectural heritage or resources of the town.
Okay, we need a second.
Second.
All righty.
Talk.
Thank you. Okay, and I vote determines that the partial demo of the single-family structure is not detrimental and no demolition delay is imposed. Nancy Shoemaker.
Aye.
Marilyn Fifield.
Aye.
Barbara DiBiase.
Aye.
And I also vote aye. So you will not have another demolition delay imposed, Craig.
Thank you very much. And thanks for your time and consideration. And we'll be seeing you real soon on a couple of other nice projects.
Oh, how exciting.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much. Bye all.
Okay, moving along. And we have the CPC update, Community Preservation Committee. Marilyn, what do you have to say for us?
Not much. I reported at the I reported at the last meeting. Our last meeting was a day after the CPC annual meeting and regular monthly meeting, and I reported on both of them at the last meeting. So we haven't had another meeting since then.
Boy, I'll tell you what, you just slough right off, don't you? I'm teasing, obviously. You work very hard.
Always glad to save time.
Okay, we have minutes to approve. We still have these amended February meeting minutes. And unfortunately, Cheryl's not here, but I have come up with there's one page of that that's all red because it's all been redone. And I have a suggestion to put into it instead of quite that much red. The suggestion that I have is to put in, instead of the red, the award applications will be reviewed by an appointed Barnstable Historical Commission subcommittee for motions. The Barnstable Historical Commission will review and vote on the winners. Cheryl went to the State Ethics Commission and verified that each individual must decide whether or not it is appropriate for them to recuse. And that was my simplification of what is there. So I propose that we amend the minutes to read as I just said.
And the main thrust of it is that you can recuse yourself.
It just sets up the substance that we have the subcommittee, the Barnstable Historical Commission then votes on the winners, and that you can decide whether or not to recuse yourself.
Okay.
That's not how it's worded, but it's what it says.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible to see that page on the screen?
It's not been sent in anywhere. I thought
Okay.
that Cheryl was going to be here, and so I hesitated to type that out. I mean, I had it written out, but I doubt that you can read my handwriting. So
If you give me a second, I can pop up what had the red on it. I had made that edit to there so you could see what would be taken out. That way you can see the difference of what was there before and what's there now.
So
That's
that
great.
is the removal, the
Yep.
proposed removal.
And then, so I can bring that up. I don't have Nancy's proposal, but I can bring that up if you'd like,
Okay.
Barbara.
Yes, yes, please.
Give me 1 second.
As we seem to have gone around on this a little bit.
That's the page.
So the way that I had done it was the cross out of what was there beforehand. And then I put in what Cheryl had suggested to be put in because she wanted everything to be minuted verbatim.
Okay, thank you.
I will reread what I have said while that's up there too, so you can see if I've covered the main points. The award applications will be reviewed by an appointed Barnstable Historical Commission subcommittee for recommendations. The Barnstable Historical Commission will review and vote on the winners of the nominations. Cheryl went to the State Ethics Commission and verified that each individual must decide whether or not it is appropriate for them to recuse.
Got it. Okay. It's a little bit more concise.
Yes,
And short.
It wasn't meant to change anything. It just was meant to make it a little bit more concise, as you say.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So that's my recommendation, and I'll take a second or not. If we don't
I'll
get a
second it. I'll second
Okay.
it.
Thank you. And then I guess we can vote on it. If there's any comments or suggestions, seeing none. Okay. So let's vote on this version. So I guess it's just a roll call vote again. So Nancy Shoemaker.
Why don't I state that I move that we accept it with the corrections made by Nancy Clark.
Okay, good. That's a good way of putting it.
I vote yes.
Okay, thank you. Barbara?
Yes. Aye.
And Maryland?
Aye, and we didn't have a second on the motion, did we?
Yes, we did.
Oh, okay.
Nancy, I think Nancy seconded it. Oh, no, it was Barbara who seconded it. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so then we can move along with the other minutes.
Nancy, you also need to vote. You didn't vote on that.
Oh, I voted in favor of it, of the change.
If you want to send me your correction,
I will
I can
do that.
add that in and then get that posted to the website.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have minutes from June 20th, which I think is a meeting I missed because I thought the meeting started at 4 and I tuned in at 4 and it was over. So we have the minutes on the June 30th. I assume, Marilyn, you've gone over them?
Yes. I would move to approve them.
Thank you. Okay, and do we have a second?
I will second that, Nancy Shoemaker.
Are there any other comments? Okay, I'll take a vote on that. June 20th minutes, all those in favor? Oh, no, I can't do it that way. Doggone it, it saves so much time. Okay, Barbara DiBiase,
I approve them.
Marilyn Fifield,
Aye.
and Nancy Clark. I approve them, and Nancy Shoemaker.
Aye.
And we approved the February as it got changed. No, we didn't. Did we approve them all right? or we just approved the change to it. I don't think we approved the amended minutes. So I think we need to do February as well.
Okay.
So I have moved that we approve February minutes, February 21st.
And I'll second that.
Okay. And so then we can vote on that. Barbara Deviazzi
Yeah, approve.
and Marilyn Fifield
Aye.
and Nancy Shoemaker. Did you vote, Nancy?
Aye, yes.
Thank you. And I also vote aye. And then we have the July, well, I can't vote on that one. I wasn't there. July 18th meeting. Okay. Any comments on that, Marilyn, or is it okay?
I would move to approve them.
Okay. And I need a second.
I'll second. I looked at them too.
Okay. And we will vote on the July 18th minutes. Barbara DiBiase,
I approve them.
Marilyn Fifield,
Aye.
Nancy Shoemaker.
Aye.
And I vote aye also. And I don't think we have any other matters that we need to pull up. There was something that came out from Mass Historic that Erica forwarded to everybody.
About the classes.
The courses. There's
the
a couple of
courses.
different ones. They're all via Zoom. They're all free, so you can sign up or to either participate in the Zoom itself, or you can just request the recordings for afterwards.
Oh, okay.
So it makes it very convenient, really. Okay, it's not here, but are there any, oh yes, there are. Discussion of upcoming historical events open to the public. Okay, Nancy. I knew that hand was going to rise.
All right. The West Barnstable Village Festival will be taking place this Saturday on the 19th of August. And part of that will be the old Selectmen's Building will be opening up again, which has been closed for a few years. And the West Barnstable Historical Society will be having an exhibit of art and artifacts and featuring artists of West Barnstable. So that will be at the festival. Also, I have mentioned before, but we have dates now for Michael Kemp, who is a resident of Barnstable, but with a P, in England. And he is going to be speaking at the Marston's Mills Historical Society, I believe at 2:00 on Tuesday, September 12th. And then he is going to be speaking at the 1717 Meeting House on Friday, September 15th at 7 p.m. He's also hoping to, I think there's some progress happening to meet the council, and I probably be offering them a gift, talking about keeping up our twinning between the two towns. So that should be interesting. And I think that's all I have.
That sounds interesting. Good stuff. Thank you. Anybody else have anything? Okay. Then I will move that we adjourn.
Actually, may I ask a question of Erica?
By all means.
Hi, Erica. Do you know if there's any status on my full membership as a commissioner?
Yes, so I believe it went to the, not I believe, I know, it went to the appointments committee on August 8th. It's going to the town council this Thursday for the first reading. And I don't believe they can vote at the first reading. I think it has to be the second reading in which they vote. So that is coming up for the first reading this Thursday.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. As we move along, and did I have a second for? No, I didn't. May I have a second for adjourning?
I'll second that.
Well, everybody's there ready to play that one. Okay. Marilyn Fifield.
Aye.
Nancy Shoemaker.
Aye.
Barbara DiBiase.
Aye.
And I will force that. Aye. Okay, everyone. Have a good August.